Hello friends, it is Teacher Stacy. I am here to talk about how much money you can make working for VIPKid. It really will vary depending on your experience and how well you do in the interview process as to what your base pay is. But this is pretty much the way that it works. You go through the interview, they determine how well you have done and base your pay rate on one of three levels. You either get $7 per 25-minute class, $8 per 25-minute class, or $9 per 25-minute class. That's it. You will get one of those amounts, and then you have the option to add on extra dollars per class for certain things. For example, my base pay started at $8 per class, and I have the incentive of earning an extra dollar for being on time and conducting the class as normal, getting an as scheduled tag on my class. It just means it went normally, no problems. I get an extra dollar for teaching more than, I think it's 45 classes a month. So from the very beginning, I have taught more than 45 classes a month. So I've always gotten that dollar. So for my first contract, well, first and second contract period, I was receiving $10 per class, so $20 per hour. Now, of course, that will differ per person depending on how many classes you book, how many openings you have in your schedule, and how many students book you. So my lowest, I believe, in the first year teaching for VIPKid, I think my lowest amount was around $800 and something for the month, and that was in my very first month. So that was when I had just started, was still building my student base and trying to get my name out there, and my bookings would have been as low as they ever were that first month. So that's about how much I made. Then the most I have made on any one month was about $2,000. That was, I think, like December or January. I was able to work some extra time when my children were out of school, and I also did a lot of Friday night and Saturday morning teaching, and was still doing a few of the like all-nighter kind of teachings, which can really wear you out. But anyway, so I did earn a little bit more during those time periods when I was actively doing that. Now, after your second contract, so a contract is 6 months. When you get hired on as an independent contractor, your first contract is for 6 months, and your base rate is one of the three that I mentioned, plus you can add on your incentives, and then it's the same for your second contract if you get, if they offer you another contract. So at the end of 6 months, they will offer you another contract for the next 6 months, and your rate and everything will stay the same. Now, after you have taught for a year, you have the opportunity to get a base pay increase. Okay, you can only get 50 cents a year, like it's 50 cents up each year. And there are actually a lot of requirements for the base rate increase. I kind of kept track of that very closely during my first year teaching to make sure I was meeting all of those requirements. You have to teach a certain number of what they call PPT classes, which are classes in a time frame that is a very popular time frame for the kids and for the parents to book, and you have to teach a certain number of classes in those times. It's like 7 to 8 in the morning, 7 to 9 in the morning, around in there, for my time zone. And then you have to have a certain number, like you can only have a certain number of teacher cancellations or teacher no-shows, and several other things like that. So you just have to be wary of what the requirements are for a base rate increase, and then make sure you're meeting all of those requirements. And you have to meet all of those requirements a month early. So whenever your contract is supposed to, your second contract is supposed to end after your year is up, you have to make sure that you have all of those things completed and all the requirements met a month before your contract ends, because a month before they will go ahead and offer you your new contract. So they're basing it on the 11 months prior and what you're able to do. So again, I kept a close eye on that, and so I was able to get a base rate increase. So now I make $8.50 per class, and then I get my dollar. Whoops, yeah, I get my dollar for being on time. I get my dollar for teaching more than 45 classes a month. So I make $10.50 per class, which equates to $21 an hour. Now, as a regular independent contractor, the most you can make is $22 an hour. So next time around, when I do my, hopefully when my next year is up and I can renew after my fourth contract, then I hopefully will get another base rate increase, and I will then be up to $9 per hour plus my dollar for being on time, plus my dollar for teaching more than 45 classes a month, which will then equate to $11 per class. And I hope I've said all of that correctly. Anyway, it's $11 per class at that point, which would be $22 an hour, and that's the highest that you can go. So that's sort of how it breaks down. That's how it works. So it really has been a lot more money than what I was anticipating. So I thought even if I could earn a few hundred extra dollars a month for my family, that would be great. But you are really kind of in charge of how much or little you can earn based on how many time slots you open. And I know that you're still kind of at the mercy of the parents with the booking schedule and how many time slots you are able to get booked. But again, if you open up a bunch when you first start and you really get a good student base going, then even though you may have to teach more at the beginning, like more weird hours, like in the middle of the night and that kind of thing, you can build your student base up very quickly like that. And then those students, if they enjoyed having class with you, will try to rebook you, and you can kind of narrow down your time slots into when you really would prefer to teach. So I do recommend maybe a few times trying, some middle of the night classes. You might like it, but you at least can expose yourself to some children that maybe you would not have had otherwise, and then they can book you at other times. Sometimes in the middle of the night, other teachers in your time zone or in that general time frame maybe want to be asleep and not teaching, so that might be a good time for you to try to snag a few classes right in there anyway. So again, when you first start, it can be kind of overwhelming, and you can be sort of unsure of everything, especially if you're not getting a lot of bookings. But don't worry, just hang in there, be patient, do your best. Keep working hard. Make sure your profile information, everything is on target and the best that it can be. Make sure that your intro video that you have to do for the parents is the best that it can be. If you need to change it up or fix some things, you can go online and look at YouTube videos of different... Oh, well, there was my phone, sorry. YouTube videos of different people doing their intro videos, and then you can get a better idea of what is expected there. My intro video is on my what's it called? Channel? Yes, it's in my channel here. So you can look at mine for an example. It's not super, and actually the camera I was using was not real great. But anyway, it does the job, and it's been fine so far, and I may update it pretty soon to have a clearer picture and just redo it. But anyway, so you can check that out. But again, if you have any questions about pay or how much money you can make with this job, please email me. My email is below in the description for the video. So just reach out and let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to help you. Thanks, and I'll see you later. Bye.